And welcome as we go ahead and get ready to dive into astronomy. Let's go ahead and take a look first at the nature of astronomy. This is going to be a good thing for us to kind of look and examine just what exactly astronomy is. So that goes back to our question here. What is astronomy? And we can, of course, give various definitions, but astronomy is the study of objects that lie beyond Earth and the process by which these objects interact with one another. Now, what can we use astronomy for? Well, two things right off the top that we can discuss is we can use astronomy to organize a history of the universe. This means that we, of course, are trying to figure out what happened in the very beginning all the way to what is currently happening right now. Additionally, we can use this to kind of determine the evolution of the cosmos. How did we get to have planets and stars and galaxies and all these other cool things that we can see when we look up in the sky? Now, when we start talking about astronomy, this is not something that's going to be restricted in any way. This is a very vast journey that we can actually go through. So when we start looking at things, we're going to, of course, examine everything from the Earth to distant galaxies. Now, if we take our scope and go beyond Earth, we're going to see that there's vast and magnificent realms full of objects that don't have a counterpart or any kind of equivalent on our home planet. Take, for example, this picture here. This is showing two interacting islands of stars, or in this case, two galaxies. They're so far apart that their light actually would take hundreds of millions of years to reach us here on Earth. But we do get the privilege of looking at this here in the night sky. So this is, again, a pretty neat thing that we can kind of interact with. Now, some of the things that we interact with are literally going to be out of this world. When we turn our eyes to the skies, we're going to see a whole bunch of different things. For example, we can look at a canyon system that is so large that if we were to place that same system on Earth, it would stretch from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. In fact, it's right here on Mars, as you can see in this image right here. You can see this. It looks almost like a giant scar across the planet's surface. We can also look for other things such as craters and evidence on Earth that tell us that things like the dinosaurs and other creatures died because of a cosmic collision. Now, these are just two examples of some of the things that we can see, and we're going to see a lot more as we dive deeper. One of the things I really want to kind of close out on, though, for our introduction lesson here, is that nothing in the cosmos is static. For example, if we look here, we can observe the remains of a star that exploded in our skies in 1054. Now, this star when it exploded, was briefly bright enough to be visible during the daytime. Now, obviously, that was a while ago, 1,000 years ago, which is nothing in the grand scheme of the cosmos. But we can, of course, still see the remnants of this in the form of the Crab Nebula. Now, the birth and death of stars is crucial to the development of both life and really the development of the universe as its own.